kind of speak on all of that now, I'm so honored to introduce contributor Paul Wagner. Paul, of course, has retired from Erie News now, but you jump back in when all the politics start to heat up, and we're glad to have you today.
I answered the phone, so here I am.
Yes, and we're very happy about it. So we're talking about the current political climate. I mean, have you ever seen anything like this?
No, I've covered elections for over 40 years, and there's always, some anger, but nothing like we've seen the last 2 years because of the insurrection. And then I think it was even more because of the pandemic. We had all the arguments about masking, about schools closing, about businesses closing, and that kind of morphed into more anger and questioning everything. And I think what's the biggest change that I've seen really is so much focus on the process now. We always used to cover the candidates and the issues, but now it's the process, who's going to count the ballots? Did you sign your ballot? Should we go to a court to file a lawsuit about the ballots? I mean, all of that we really never covered before, but the mail-in ballots, I think, has really changed the dynamic this year and probably going forward.
Do you think we'll have a smooth election count process today and into tomorrow?
Well, it may be into tomorrow and maybe into Thursday, maybe into Friday statewide. I don't think we're going to see some of these results till a couple days down the road, especially in the bigger cities like Philadelphia and Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Of course, we have some big election that we are looking at, namely that Senate seat and, of course, the Pennsylvania governor seat.
Yeah, both of them. The Senate race, is really the number one race in the entire country, along with the Senate race in Georgia. And I think, we tend to look at it because of the national focus on it, why it's so important, because of the balance of power in the Senate, and $140 million in money from outside sources coming in for this race, which is staggering. But I think the other thing that's really interesting for Pennsylvania is you have two really unique candidates. It's not like your typical race for Senate where you have a lawyer in a gray suit and a lawyer in a blue suit. You've got a guy who's a television star and a billionaire, and then you've got a guy who's 6'8", wears hoodies, has tattoos, and doesn't look like your average politician. Right. So that makes it a unique race as well. But it's the power aspect in Washington that's really brought all the money and the focus on this race.
I've heard a lot of people kind of make the same kind of comment when they're talking about voting, and it is, I'm not necessarily voting for a candidate, but I'm more voting against someone. It seems to be that seems to be really predominant in the people that I've been talking to lately. Yeah,
people who just they look at it as the lesser of two evils, which is kind of a shame. And we go through that process in the spring, and a lot of people don't vote in the primary, and that's really your chance. If you're a Democrat or Republican, to pick out the person you do want, so maybe you won't feel that way. But a lot of people don't vote, they wait till today. We'll get a much higher turnout now than we did in the primary.
That's right. And you're going to join us again in the next half hour.
I will be back.
So we look forward to that. Thanks Paul. It's great to see you today.